Awesome. So now PsycHub is the same as PsychArmor just for everybody, or what are the differences between the two?
Yeah, it's a good question. So we're in the greater mental health space. We have a little bit of a much more focused charge. So we're very focused right now on certifying behavioral health providers, like I was saying, on these evidence-based practice into specialties. So we're working on that. We're doing very well, actually, for such a new company. We're in half of the country's states, Medicaid states. We're doing things with commercial providers. We partnered with the payers, which we call like the health insurance companies. The United Healthcare's, Aetna's, Anthems of the world, and really working with them. In fact, we just announced publicly, I think it was last week, our scientific advisory board, which is the chief medical officers of behavioral health of all of the national health insurance companies, are all on our board together to work on quality outcome measures, to all agree on the same outcomes, so that we what we're trying to do is deliver better care more effectively and get providers paid more who are delivering that higher standard of care. And so it's a big burden and responsibility and a great honor to be able to work with the payers to kind of make this movement together. So we do our learning, it's not like what you would think of about more of PsychArmor as like a one and done, where we're very focused on ongoing learning, because actually if you really want to change behavior, you have to keep, like what happens is with online learning, e-learning, it's like knowledge learned. You take it, pre-test, post-test, and then maybe a week later you forget everything you learned, right? How you change behavior to go from knowledge learned to behavior changes, you need ongoing learning that happens all the time. So we're very focused on a different style of teaching online, nudging smaller amounts of information over time, and then we give feedback to the patient as well, or the client, or the member. And so
more interaction.
Yeah. So let's
in the personal growth world, they'll say there's three types of knowledge. There's physical knowledge and there's mental knowledge. Mental knowledge is you got the idea, but you haven't really applied it in your nervous system, so you don't have physical knowledge of that action yet to really get used to it.
I like that.
It's just a personal growth thing. It's but I'm sure you'll have. That's kind of like getting the subject more interactive with just not passing a test and then you're done.
And then we have to engage the patient too. So going back to the example of insomnia, because I gave you insomnia, I diagnosed you with it. No. And so now let's say you're going to go see a therapist, you get a video like this is what CBT for insomnia is going to be. And it's typically 6 stages. And, and then before each session, you get a video sent to you. And then your provider can prescribe you all these different videos that are part of the treatment so you can practice at home. So it's like very engaging that it's not like you coming in as just a patient saying, okay, fix me. It's like, okay, you work at it too, and it's like a two-way street. And we don't do any direct care. We don't do, there's all these amazing startups and folks that are in BH right now, behavioral health. We're just on the training piece. So we're just helping train the providers, giving them the skills and the re-skills to kind of really be able to hone their craft. And then we also do a lot with what we call allies. So we have a mental health ally certification. And that is just for everybody to learn how to support someone who might be going through a hard time. And so we call it a layperson. A layperson, just like anybody who might be interested. And it's 8 modules. It's doing phenomenally well. It is definitely making its way in some of the largest corporations in this country. But we teach about mental health competency, about suicide prevention, safety planning. So what do you say to someone who might be suicidal? That's the biggest thing. People don't know what to say. So we actually walk you through all of that. We partnered with, we bring in all these experts, and it's very engaging. There's role plays and animations and games and lived experience. There's a module on diversity and mental health. There's one on unconscious bias. It's like you have to be careful when you're talking to people with that bias that you bring to it. We have substance use and opiates. We have motivational interviewing, which is awesome. It just teaches you how to have a hard conversation. And
all this is done online. This is all like
all online,
channels.
Yeah, it's all online, and it's super inexpensive. And like I said, companies are picking it up, and we're training a whole workforce of companies on it. And people always say, who is it good for? Because we have so many different kinds of people taking it. You would be surprised at all different. And we always say, whoever's hungry for the knowledge. Yeah,
I'm sure there's another. You're constantly adding to it. Another modality, another branch.
We're adding a version of it right now for crisis intervention. Like, what do you do for someone who's in crisis? Like, what do you like? So we're adding one more module, and it's also customizable. So we're customizing it for large corporations, where we're bringing in or different audience, where we change some of the role plays with that audience. So it's been great. So we do that, and then we have our free video library. So we are so honored to be YouTube's partner for mental health. We were very excited a couple weeks ago. They came out with a press release, and they named us alongside Harvard, Mayo Clinic, Cleveland Clinic, the Academy of Medicine, and PsycHub. So we're very, very honored to be their partner in mental health. We have really working very hard right now on our YouTube channel. So we